Hey, what's up, guys? Can you guys hear me? Hey, what's up, guys? Can you guys hear me? Looks like the mic is working now. Just wanted to check. Cool. So we're going to continue working on this little crab guy. So after looking at this stuff for, over a week, just kind of looking at it last night, I noticed that I really like the old head better. So I think we're going to go back to the old head. I think the old head works a lot better. The other one I kind of don't like. But yeah, we're going to be working on some stuff. So let's see what we can do. So I kind of don't like the spikes, so we're going to remove them. Let's close some hose. Well, thanks for joining, guys. Really appreciate it. How's everybody's Sunday going? You guys doing alright? just get rid of this, kind of soften it up a little faster. Alright, so let's continue working on this. So one thing that I wanted to do is kind of maybe adjust this guy to have the spikes kind of going down, so we're gonna kind of keep going with that. Because they seem to be going the wrong direction. It looked kind of cool earlier, but we're going to change that a bit. Not a big deal, just kind of, I think kind of going the opposite direction looks much cooler. So where are you guys tuning in from? These are standard move. Oh, look at that, it keeps pulling two. Let's fix that problem. Use our friend to move infinite. Yeah, our move infinite seems to be working much better. Hey, how's it going, Carl? Sweden, nice. Indonesia, nice. That's really cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in from such far distance. So I think we're going to separate this piece out just to be able to work on it a little better. So let's split hidden. Keep this guy. There we go. Because we need to dynamesh that guy a little more before we commit to him. And even at 16, it's pretty dense, but should be more manageable. See, so I think that gives a nicer silhouette for him. Yeah, here it's been in Los Angeles, or it's been pretty windy the last night, so we had the power go out. So I was hoping I was going to be back this morning so that I could stream. All right, so let's change a few things. Let's add our friend the sphere. So I tend to block out a lot of things with spheres, right? Keep it simple and then dynamesh from there. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for tuning in. So one thing I was looking at the crabs, they seem to have like a nice shell that protects their brain, so I'm going to implement some of that. And I think I tried doing that with the other head, you know. Let's move this guy to the top. With this other head, and it kind of looked cool from the side view, but I didn't like the front. So I think that's one of the biggest issues that I'm going to get rid of. Like, it just wasn't working for me. It just made them look a little strange. So I didn't like that. So we're gonna kind of fix some of that now. Let's see. We're still gonna protect his head somehow, but we're just going to make it a little more stylish. Oh, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. There we go. See, that looks pretty cool from the back. Maybe a little pointier. Make it a little more menacing. We need to make sure it fits nicely from the back too, not just or from the side, I mean. And the front. So here we can duplicate this guy. Maybe lower him down, made him wider. And we can start playing with adding more plates to him. You know, kind of reduce all that so that they're separate pieces. Dynamesh that. Cool. Let's see. It was made for no concept. Yeah, I'm doing the concept as we're going, so that makes it a little more difficult, right? Because you try things and sometimes they don't work out, they don't look good. Sometimes they do. In this case, like that other head, we tried it. It kind of looked cool for a minute, and then it doesn't. You know, like after stepping away from it, I see that it's not working. So I think that's a sure sign that it's not worth doing, or adjusting it so it's much nicer, you know. So here I want to make sure that the shell Dynamesh this way lower than that. There we go. That should make it more manageable. Make sure that the shoulder can move around. So some of my main references that I'm kind of looking at right now is let me find it for you guys. So I tend to work a lot with references, you know. So I'm kind of looking at what this is doing, kind of going around the eye, but of course we don't have it going around the eye, so I'm trying to figure out how that's going to work out as we're implementing that to him. So we're going to kind of work that around, see how it goes. And that's kind of what I'm trying to just block out now. So then we got some details. So now we have this piece, right? That's underneath. So maybe this piece is no longer needed. But that's more of... Let me change this music. Sorry guys. This music is started off pretty good. Should need some ambient music. So we're gonna get rid of this piece. I'm not digging this piece because it's now kind of sticking out, not working for us. This stuff is cool in the neck, not the other stuff. So we're gonna kind of just remove it. Let's see. So that's the part we don't want. So that's all good. Let's delete hidden, and now we can just kind of close hose. It's no longer in the way, so now continue to work on this stuff. So these are kind of his protecting. Yeah, it could be like a more humanoid kaiju. So that gives him a little bit more of a structure there, and then maybe push this guy stuff in, so it feels like it's. So for this stuff, you can do a couple things. We can go in here. Oh, wrong mask. Sorry. Go in here, mask this stuff in. Since I want it to feel like it's not a super heavy shell, it's more like a armor protection. So now that we have that, we can now either move the whole thing. There we go. That's kind of working, and kind of like the crab has. I'm gonna give him a little bit of a twirl. There we go. Maybe a little bit short. What is it called? Shoe horse crab. There we go. That's much better. I'm kind of digging that. Now we gotta work out the relationship between these guys. Which one is that's much better. So let's give that a little bit of a structure, kind of what we did with the other guys. We'll go with that for now. Well, I think we're gonna adjust it later, but let's just kind of get this theme going so we can get to some details later. Hey, how's it going, George? Good to see you, brother. It's been a while. So then we have this headpiece, right? What are we going to do with this headpiece? It's dynamesh it pretty low. Alright, so let's see where are we at. Still too high. Let's go to, there we go, something more useful. So let's adjust this guy too. That was a mistake, but kind of worked. Yeah, I've been good, man. I've been busy working a lot. Oh, I see you've been doing a lot of artwork too. It's really awesome, man. So you see that's feeling much better. I'm not digging this piece. It was cool before, but now it's not working for me. I think the spikes maybe too out. So let's simplify the shape. Let's see what we can do to fix this. Could be also that the spikes are pointing down instead of maybe pointing out, just straight back. Yeah, I've been printing a lot, man. Oh, thanks. Kind of working out a lot of kinks from these printers, these new, you know, LCD printers. Sometimes they work well, sometimes they don't. Yeah, I think if the spikes are a little tinier, it works a little better. Not like so spiky like let's dynamic that again. Because then they don't curl as much. I think this works much better. Then we'll refine these again. Yeah, that works much better. I guess the arc they were getting before was not, I don't know, was not that appealing to me. Let's try something else. Yeah, I think that works. We just gotta tone it down a little bit. Let's build some of these guys out too. Let's see what else. I had a coconut crab reference. They gave me some good ideas. This is the thing. See, I'm kind of just trying to see how simplified real life is. Sometimes you have to just tone it down and not go too crazy with all the details, because it's easy to just go insane with all these details and then they don't really, they just make your design too busy. But yeah, we're gonna work on this head part and then we'll work on the legs too. So maybe these are a little larger. And then these guys are tucked inside. Right, kind of following a little bit of human anatomy, but then we'll break those up too. So those guys feel kind of organic and kind of shell-like. So let's see, let's grab another sphere. Here we could probably do something. Let's see, let's find another crab reference. We have a lot of frontal ones, but not so much back ones. Because we can continue that theme and then maybe cascade some of these guys around. One thing we want to do maybe here is hide the arms. I think that kind of works. And then these guys could be tucked inside. Those guys are separate pieces, so it's not a big deal. You can also inflate this to get rid of these thin pieces. So maybe we split this up. Oh, I see another pattern design that we can do. I try to do a lot of this stuff in threes. That's one of my main things that I like doing. So what do I mean by that? It's kind of like a layer cake effect, where like you have like you see, I'll have another one, so you have 1, 2, 3 that are kind of going the same direction, kind of like the spiky things that I have on his face, and they kind of like make the design kind of feel like it's, you know, you see like here, like these guys have 3 spikes, these guys have 3, this guys have 3. You could do 2s, 3, 4s, whatever you want, but it helps it kind of feel like they're in the same world, like they're like it's designed by the same person or same, you know, however they were created. So this is kind of protecting this back. Maybe this could extend a little lower, or be another piece maybe that's breaks in half to make it more segmented. Dynamesh that guy. So then this guy could just be split in a few pieces. So it feels more like a spine. So that's kind of the way his back would bend. Hey, how's it going, Max? Oh, Max. Thanks for joining. Let's bring back his arms. How is this working out? Yeah, this looks pretty good. So let's work on his arms too, since we're already back here. So not everything needs to be a hard shell, right? Everything, sometimes some of these things could be spread out, especially if you look at a real crab. Like how some of these things work. You need those joints. So this is part of that joint where it's kind of like an accordion. You know, and it breaks the big shapes, so you have big shapes and then you have the small shapes. Then we could pull this guy out a little more. Give him a little more volume, a little more muscle. Let me know if you guys have any questions. So this stuff just would end in the back of this. So even this, you see, this is kind of 3 shapes. Look, I'll have a little design that's a little different. Let's work on those biceps as well. Can you convert that to English? Sorry, I can't speak or read Russian. I wish I could. That sounds pretty cool. So here we'll do a little bit of the same kind of cut into this too. So those are like the flexible bits. And this will be a little more hard shell. I think we'll do something there with joints, but no, I don't like that. Let's keep it simple there. Let's continue. Then we'll just break it here. So that's another flexible part. So we're gonna pose this later as well. Hey, how's it going, Jessica? Thanks for joining. So this I'm considering part of his back part, so it could be cool to have an edge that kind of sticks out. Little break up there. Oh. I hate when that happens when you press that button. Yeah, something nice going on and then you press the button by accident. One thing I also want to do is make some of these edges round. That's one thing I've been noticing about crabs. Is that you have a sharp edge and then you also have like a round edge. Most of the time on the opposite side. You know, that gives a little more definition. So here we're making them he feels much better. What do you guys think? See. Yeah, I have 256 of RAM in my system. I think either 120 or 256. And it's a dual Xeon. But to be honest, you could do this. You know, a lot of the sculpting that I do it in. This is like my office, my home office, but I have a setup inside my house. So when I'm with my kids, I kind of, you know, when taking a break, I can kind of do some more work, and that just has like 64. Like it doesn't have that much RAM, either 32 or 64. I don't remember, but I'm able to do most of this stuff there with just that. I've seen people do even 8, where some of this stuff just works out with 8, which is awesome, you know. Let's see what else. Some other cool reference that I found was these coconut crabs. Let me just find it for you. Kind of looking at the edges, you see how they're not perfect, they're all chipped. On these ridges, we're going to break them up as well. So we're making these ridges now, and then we'll add some breakup to that and some directionality for the overall the limbs. So that's kind of stuff I'm kind of looking at, you know, like big shapes, small shapes. So we'll have something like this, and then we'll start adding some kind of breakup overall. To kind of help it kind of, you know, just not look so perfect, you know, blend some of this stuff out. You know, it gives it a little more 3D look. Let's go damn standard on that one. And then soften it up. So you have a little bit of an apex. It kind of works itself out there. And then soften some of those guys up because they're not obviously not that sharp. They've been hitting against rocks or other things. Hey, how's it going? Huh, best ever? That's a cool name. Yeah, Langostine man, yeah, he could be. But as you see, I move around a lot. I'm making sure that some of this stuff is working overall for what I like. Trying to figure out if bringing his head down would be nicer. Like it looks cool from the front. Just trying to see what this looks like from. It's all good, man. I will translate it just since we have to kind of talk and sculpt and all this stuff. It's an extra thing that I have to do that I can do later. But if you had a question, I could answer it. So even this one, I think, could use some breakup to kind of help him break that silhouette. It could be that it has some pointy things. It's got too thin, but that's the idea right there. So let's try that out maybe. And you have another one over here. Right now I have a couple subtools. Last Sunday or last time we streamed, the body was a whole bunch, and then we kind of started combining some. So I've been kind of combining and separating them as we go, depending on the needs. You know, like there was a piece back here that we separated out to be its own thing. So we're kind of keeping the back simple, but not too simple, you know, if that kind of makes sense. We're not adding tons of breakup. We just want big surfaces right now that read well. But we can also start breaking those tangents, you know. So like, what do I mean by that? Like the curvature, like it's not just a straight curve, it's like a curve with a hook, with an S curve, that type of stuff. How much experience I have? Well, it depends, you know. I've been working in VFX for about 20 years, and now working in kind of tech and other things the last 2 years or so. So, I don't know, maybe a little experience. You know, then maybe this has a little bit of a. Let's try the other tool. Like maybe this is where this stuff goes in. No, I think there's more than 8. I think there's yeah, this many. It's just the view count is only set to 8. No, 8 would be nice. It's a lot less than what I'm dealing with now. But some of the stuff is in there is old, so it's okay, you know. See, so now that has somewhere to go. And I could tuck some of this stuff in there as well, so that it looks more, just a little more layered. Any Indian 3D professional? Yeah, there's plenty. There's plenty of you know, there's plenty of different people from all over the world that are 3D artists that are amazing. So, which is cool because it gives you hope, right? To kind of come from different places from the world and be able to succeed doing this. You know, whether you want to do VFX or games or whatever you want to do, you can do it. So as long as you practice and keep at it, I think you'll be there. You'll be there in no time. Still saving. All right, there we go. So that's kind of working out. We're gonna change a little bit of proportions, maybe make his arms longer. So we'll extend this stuff down. This one shouldn't have a. We're just moving some of this stuff down to give him a little bit more asymmetry, and I think longer limbs we're gonna work for him out pretty well. All right, let's make that a little longer. I'm kind of glancing at my reference. I'm not looking at the whole thing all the time. That's why whenever I kind of look at it, I kind of let you guys know to see what I'm kind of looking at and thinking about. Sometimes we have to clean the shape. See how these guys are getting a little broken. We gotta simplify them and also make sure that they don't have too many lumps. That's one thing I don't like in designs. I'm gonna clean up some of this stuff. And also we didn't do the 3 on this, so we need to break that up as well. So in that case, that's one of the apex, and also that's one of the apex, so we're gonna pull those guys out. So this is what I like doing, is using the inflate a little bit, and then just to give it a form of direction, just pull it up just a bit. Main thing, I'm trying to stay with the same tangent. Oh yeah, man, the younger the better, you know. I feel like if I could start when I was younger, that would have been great. So I say just keep on it. Just watch tons of tutorials, you know, like check out YouTube, of course. If you could afford to purchase some, I would say purchase some. All that stuff is just going to help you. Even if it doesn't help you right away, it would help you in the long run. So giving this guy a little bit more. See, going with that 3. Now let's fix this guy. Let's see. He lost some resolution, so we're gonna help him kind of get his curvature back, you know, and maybe even him out as well too. So let's clean up that edge. So a lot of the ways that I clean up all this stuff is just adding a whole lot of like erasing everything. And then just adding clay slowly. Like you saw how destroyed it looked. Even then, I only have to dynamesh it a little higher or smooth this. But I'm trying to get as much as I can with the low res version of this. Trying to make sure that's still following the contours. You know, I have to clean this up here. So this whole piece we can probably split. There should be 2 of these guys. Right, so that looks pretty cool, but now that piece that we have, like, I guess when I extrude it, I guess it didn't work out. No, it's never too late, man. I've seen people get started in their 30s, 40s. So it's this perfect timing. 21 is a great time for you to do this. So the scene is really large. So I have to go with a really low resolution or really low dynamesh. And that's kind of what I'll show you guys the places I just split. Those are hands. Let's see, where did it go? All the way to the bottom. Sorry, I just need to kind of go through some of these tools. I should have labeled it. Let's see, we have back part, head, old head. Let me delete some of these guys. Some more spheres. Sorry guys, it's early over here. Let's get rid of that old body. Just doing a little cleanup. So I know some of you guys maybe didn't tune in earlier or last time. Let me just show you. So this is the way the body started. Just spheres that were sketched out, all separate pieces, and then were dynameshed together to be smooth and then refined. Oh yeah. BNS is awesome, man. Awesome artist. Really good inspiration too. Let's see. We have those hand things. We don't need those right now. We're gonna get rid of that. These are my claws. I think what I did is that I didn't do split hidden. That's what it was. I was like, where are they? They weren't separated out. Sorry guys. Alright. So we're gonna fix some of these things, right? We're going to cut some of this stuff out. You know, we don't need that, right? That's kind of breaking the whole overall shape of the protector thing. So we could delete hidden and dynamesh it. That closes that up. So now we could kind of continue tweaking on that. So see how it has like a little cut because I just kind of cut it. We can start fixing a lot of that. Kind of repair that piece of geometry. Get rid of that kink. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, if you guys want to download my UI, you guys can download it from my Gumroad. Let me give you guys that link. I know some people were asking last time and I didn't post the link. Sorry about that. So yeah, you can. Yeah, that's my Gumroad. If you guys want to check out my website for kind of work I've been doing for the last 20 years or so. Let me show you that real quick. So this is some of the films that I worked on, you know, commercials, films, VR experiences, all kinds of stuff. So you guys can come here and check some of that stuff out. You know, it hasn't been updated in a while, but it has at least the latest stuff. Some of the latest stuff. Income and 3D modeling is very wet, very low. There is. Sorry, it's what had a window covering that. It depends. It depends where you're at, you know, and with your skill level. I think a lot of it has to depend on that. Sometimes I think a lot of places might try to take advantage of you if you're fresh or new, but sometimes I feel like you also need to pay your dues, kind of like in the apprenticeship or that type of stuff, you know. So it's okay to maybe sometimes get paid a little low when you're just starting off to learn. Like you're learning as you're getting paid by learning, or learn, you know, like on the job experience. Like that type of stuff is great, but also just make sure you don't do that for too long. Just put a set time, like you're doing an internship in learning, and it's 3 months, so you get paid a little bit, and then from there you ask for more. But obviously it depends on what country you're at, what kind of stuff you're doing. Are you cleaning up scans? Are you is it just an internship where you're just doing kind of helping somebody out? Are you doing maybe some hero work that can be used for your portfolio to make your portfolio better, and then from there you can make more money next time you take the next job? So it all depends. There, you know, everybody has a different situation. Also with COVID, maybe it's easier for you guys to get work that's not local. You don't have to go there, you know? If that kind of makes any sense. So let's switch some shaders, play around with different shaders, see what we can do. Go with that one for now. How long have I been sculpting? Probably 20 years, you know. But I haven't been. I don't do it like every day. I do it most. You know, depends. I try to do it every day for myself. But sometimes in the job you're doing other technical things like modeling or modeling the car, not always sculpting the character. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it, man. I'm just here to help, you know. If there's any way that I can help you guys, that's the whole point of doing this stream, to kind of show you guys just a little bit of how I would approach things, you know. Sometimes they work out great, as you guys have seen in previous things. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes I just abandon them, and they just don't matter. So that's something to also consider. But that's the whole point, right? To show you guys that even professionals make mistakes. You just kind of want to make those mistakes as quickly as possible to get them, I guess, out of the way, you know? If that makes any sense. So I think I saw the opportunity here for making this an armor piece with some of these, like this parts being more we're gonna also probably color code this stuff to make it easier to see, like what I'm talking about. Like what I mean, like soft stuff. Like, let's see, this guy had color. No, the previous one had color. So maybe let's play around with that. See, let's save. Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking at some of your comments. Thanks, best ever. Yeah. I'll probably. So I'm gonna pose this once I get the legs in a nice position, kind of like where I'm at with the top. Then we'll find a pose, maybe something where he's like ready to leap or something like that, something cool where we're gonna print him out, probably a good 12-inch figure, but I want him to have a cool pose, or maybe he just killed an opponent or something, you know, or he's just in a cool pose. But yeah, that will be covered later. But this one right now we're just kind of designing and blocking things out, so that's kind of the main theme for today. Yeah, so I'm going to retopologize this to make it more animation friendly, because if you look at it right now, if we look at the wireframe, it's pretty dense, many areas, you know, way too dense, unnecessary geometry. You know, some of these, like this is the only thing that's been kind of auto ZBrushed, but even then this is not at a good level, it's too high. But yeah, a lot of these pieces are just too dense right now. We're just blocking things out. What version? That's an interesting question. I'm trying to remember. It's like ZBrush 4 or 3 point something. So it's pretty, I don't know. The first time I used ZBrush on the job was back when I was working on Charmed to make a creature, like a werewolf creature. And that was maybe 2003 or 4. So whatever version was being used back then, I don't know, such a long time ago. But yeah, so we're gonna retopple some of this stuff. We're just trying to work out the design part. Like, what is this guy doing now? He's going through his back of his head, so we need to clean some of that stuff up. Should be going deep, but not to that point. So we'll add a little bit more definition to this guy. These arms are. More of that breakup edges that I was talking about earlier. So one thing that I'm doing is kind of pushing in, pushing outwards to kind of get a little bit of kind of serration going on. You know, so that we have the big surface and then we have some breakup between those guys. And if it becomes too much, we go with just tone it down. Yeah, either I could do extraction, like some of the stuff that I did was extraction. Some of the stuff that I've been doing is just bring a sphere in and kind of just put it on top. I would if I had a character that needed a color strip, but yeah, extraction is probably your best bet. And I think we might have some other ZBrush ZBrush artists kind of covering some of that stuff. I did start a YouTube channel recently to kind of do some of that. I just haven't gone to it, but I know some of the first things we were gonna want to cover were kind of like some of the what do you do, how do you fix your 3D prints? You know, like once they come out, like they're not just ready to go. You have to do post processing, sanding, what I use for sanding, what I use for painting, airbrushing. We're gonna cover some of that, and I was thinking of making a 3D print version as well, kind of like. Here's some steps if you wanted to 3D print your stuff to life size, like how to scan your head, or also like how would you set this to 3D print? You know, if we're gonna do a 12-inch figure. I dabble back and forth between traditional and this. You know, every couple of years I'll go heavy on doing some clay stuff and then drop it, and I get too busy and then go back to more of this stuff. So I go back and forth. I feel like I want to make his mandibles a little larger so that maybe they're sticking out. So let's see. This also changes music. Yeah, I could cover retopple as well. I just didn't know. I don't really know what people are interested in. There's many things I could help cover. So like stuff from production to more of this concept-y stuff to 3D printing to more real-time stuff. So if you guys have a list of things you guys want to learn, feel free to send me a message via Instagram or email, and then I could help cover, maybe make a series of those type of things to help you guys out. That's kind of the whole point of doing the channel. So if you guys have anything you want me to help you, yeah, feel free to email me, and then I could gladly help out. So this is what I was talking about, this job part. I feel like if it was sticking out a little Predator inspired, you know, like a little higher, a little out more, I think it would be cool. So yeah, we could do a combination of different things, you know, airbrush, more traditional stuff to digital, or transitioning from how do you make this go to life, you know, like from 3D printing to what it is now. But let's try this on the layer. I just want to see kind of what it could potentially look like if we were to give him a little bit more of a bigger jaw. Let's see what that looks like. I don't know. I kind of like the small jaw actually, but this kind of helps as well. So we'll keep this and see. We'll play around with it. Yeah, sometimes it helps, right? When you see, for me, it helps when I see somebody do the production work or do the work, and then it helps me get ideas of like, oh, I should have tried this or that, you know. So sometimes it's good to see other people's workflows. You also push. So that's a nice thing about layers, that you could just do some of this stuff. Kind of like the way the jaw looks on the side view. So we'll just expand his cranium a little bit. Yeah, I think that looks much better. We can just redefine his neck. Since now we lost a little bit. That's a much better fit. Yeah, it'd be cool, especially if you guys, yeah, any suggestions, please feel free to post me or send me some stuff, because anything I can help you guys with, that's awesome. As far as how much I earn, I don't really like talking about that, just because we're at different levels, you know. Like different, but I'm doing okay for myself. Let's just say that. But when you're starting off, sometimes people want to make a lot of money and you don't have the experience, so it's something to think about too, is, you know, potentially considering that. Sorry guys, just a little tired. I think the bigger mouth helps, maybe not the bigger jaw. So let's continue. Maybe we'll do some tweaking out to this body. Since we're dynameshing it, we really don't want to push some of this stuff too much, or want to start pushing some of it, but be gentle. So one thing I also wanted to do is kind of give him some little arms, you know, just like crabs have, right? Let me show you what I mean by that. It also takes him away from being too human, you know. So here's an image. Let me just rotate it. Here's an image of some reference I was looking at, you know. So I'm thinking we're gonna give him at least 2 more arms. Some more male characteristics of these guys, you know. It's in a bit of a crawfish. But it gives you an idea of what kind of segments to give him. So we're gonna play around with that now. See how that goes. Let's see. So first, before we continue, save often, because you never know when you can crash, and the last thing you want to do is crash when you have something cool. Yeah, but let me show you guys my YouTube. Let me send you guys to my YouTube channel too, so you guys can have that in case you guys want to follow me there and see what kind of updates I do. I was streaming. I did a few test streams like during the week, kind of trying to do that during the week, like afternoons. But it may be maybe better. I'm trying to figure out a better date, better time and dates. But I feel like in the middle of the week could be cool. That's why I did that. I could switch it up to maybe Tuesday or something. Alright, let's see. Should be my YouTube channel here. Let's see. Yeah, so feel free to follow me there, you know, to stay up to date, see when I'm on the stream. I'll also on Instagram, I tend to post there when I'm on the stream. I tend to not use perspective much. I'll sometimes turn it on here and there just to kind of check some things, you know, and I'll stick to a 85 to 50. But I tend to not sculpt with perspective on, especially if I'm going to 3D print it. I had problems where I thought something was very spherical, and then I 3D printed and it came out very egg-shaped, like many years ago, maybe like 15 years ago. So then from there I learned that everything needs to kind of stay as is. Alright, so let's work on those arms. I think I had some placeholders for something, but let me see. Definitely not these guys. These guys didn't kind of work out. Let's get rid of them. Yeah, I have this stuff here. Let's see. Yeah, so we can play around with this. So I was thinking he has a little set of arms, you know, that's kind of doing other little mischievous things. Oh, that music is pretty cool. It's a little epic. So maybe they're holding, or they're, I don't know, they're doing something separate. But I was thinking some set of arms similar to this. They come from the back of that shell, you know, so they're protected by these guys right here. Let's see, there was some questions. It depends what kind of printer you're using. It depends what kind of post-processing you're going to do yourself, how much material it's taking up. So it really all depends, you know, how much you're paying for the material as well. So you can put that in electricity, how much electricity you're using, how fast they want it. Is it a deadline that's crazy, or is it something that's pretty relaxed? So you can do kind of in the background as you're doing other things. How much prep work you have to do as well. So something to think about. It's a lot of things to consider. I could talk about maybe that in my own streams, kind of give you guys a breakdown of like how we'll break, like if I was gonna print this guy out, how much it's gonna cost me, how much it's gonna cost just to print, and how much it will cost to post process. You know, sand, prep, get ready for gluing, or if I want to use magnets or whatever it may, you know. Yeah, so that one's a kind of old, the Krampus one. So I think I streamed something after that. It didn't get recorded, like something happened. Because I'm testing also different systems, like I'm using StreamYard and a couple other things. So I think maybe this Wednesday coming up, I'll be streaming. So yeah, keep an eye out. So let's play around with these guys. Let's add some segments. First, let's Remeshing. Obviously it's way too dense, so let's go down to something more manageable. So here I'm just thinking of the different limbs, right? So there'll be a couple segmentations. So like, let's see, let's use... Maybe there's another segmentation here in the front. So you have those being the segments, right? So we can go ahead and move them as is, or we can, since we went all the way around, we can use just deformation and inflate out the negative. Got to do that a few times. Right, get those kind of deeper. You can see what's happening here, right? They're all kind of being separated out. So let's group mask, so that way we keep those groups. Because one thing I don't want to do with them is mask them out. Why are we going to do that? Because then we could just start making this more, a little more. Let's move topological. Turn this off. Kind of start moving some of these guys to feel more like crab-like or crustacean-like. You can also inflate them so that they don't feel so. And mesh that again. Groups are still there. So now we're breaking up those shapes. And of course the little thin ones could be like really sharp. Let's see. It depends. I have a website where I sell the castings of the 3D models. I don't sell the actual 3D file, but I do sell other things, you know, like the resin kits of this stuff. But it's also a lot of work, you know. It's not easy. Casting, molding, cleaning up, all that type of stuff. And it's also not cheap. I wish it was cheap. So here, if I want to just work on that part, awesome, we're frozen. Let's give that a second to wake up. Oh, that's what it was. So we have this. If you want to mask those out, just oh. So here I want to kind of have some overlap, right? So just like crabs do, like real crabs. And you can also blur this and inflate it a bit to give it a little more volume. See, we'll just fix that. It's not a big deal. We're just trying to create the illusion of segmentation. Oh, thanks. Appreciate it, guys. See, so everything has like a little sheath that it kind of could collapse into or bend. So that's kind of what I'm trying to create. That could happen at different parts of this creature. You know. So here, this one I kind of messed up earlier, so I'm gonna. And if something gets a little messed up, it's okay. We'll just smooth it out. Some more tweaking. Oop. And then also we'll start adding some segmentation so that like between the limbs, like breaking those guys apart. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. See now. So now that we have these guys, let's hit them a little bit with the coplanar, just because they're starting to become a little bit of a little lumpy. We're just trying to clean some of this stuff up so that we see some breakup here, you know. Then we'll start hitting them with this stuff, you know. Also the ones that go inwards, because there's both types, right? There's a little bit of a hint of the one that goes in, and also just smooth blend transition some of these things so they're not so sharp. Clean up some of this stuff. But first we need to add a little more resolution, so let's go to like 40. Oh, that's awesome, look at that. So this is probably a good time to ZBrush this guy. It's starting to get a little chunky. You want to do a little more cleanup. So let's first, I always duplicate it, right? And then I go to ZBrush here, try it out, see how that works out. Yeah, get some dinner, man. Hey, how's it going? Gratis? There you go. So that's much cleaner topology, something easier to work with. So now we can hide the other guys. Just they're hidden there. And now we could smooth these guys and see when we get a much nicer result. And look at it from different angles too, because sometimes you see some angles that you kind of maybe neglected a little bit. Like this angle here. And maybe this needs a little more volume now because it got a little flat there. Not a big deal, right? Got a little curvature to some of this stuff. Also some length. Check every limb. Everything's important. See, so now that we cleaned some of this stuff up, I think we lost our groups. Yeah, we did. We can just add a little bit more. Oh, actually, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Got a little more volume here. Some of these limbs tend to have like a bit of roundness at the ends, like like they're sharp and then round. They're both directions, so it's good to always try that out, you know. Let's see. Sorry, a whole bunch of questions that I didn't see. Is my 3D scanner projections or LiDAR? Well, I do both, right? I do photogrammetry, and I also do like iPhone things, and I also have a handheld scanner, which is white light projection, so mostly projection. Yeah, one thing to also make sure like you're pricing stuff out, that type of deal. If something seems like the people don't want to pay, then it's better to maybe sometimes not do business with them, because it'll tend to waste your time, and you're paying a little bit. They're paying a little bit. They're going to be complaining a lot. Sometimes it's not worth the headache. There you go. Yeah, those are cool. They kind of break the silhouette a little bit, right? So now that we have these, we can duplicate them and try to see if we place them somewhere else. Like if you had another set of limbs, maybe it's smaller, I think that would be cool. That kind of takes them more into the creaturey. See, so that I like the position of the old thing. It's just they're not in the right spot for this top part. So we'll just maybe mask this stuff away, so we can keep it right. It's nice and masked. Delete the mask a little bit, and now we can rotate the joint and then make that work and elongate it if we need to. Kind of rotate it, and we need to move it back. Then we could also adjust the other part. See, because I want it to kind of come from behind this, so maybe I need to do some adjustments here, or maybe it comes from behind the other one. Let's see, PC specs. Who makes their prints overseas? I don't know. I make most of my prints here at home, like a Form 2 and a couple other printers. But I know a lot of people do. What's the name of that service? I forgot. It starts with a no, I think. Hey, what's up, man? Art of Pilgrim. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. I'm trying to make something look wicked, so I can, print something epic. Hopefully, this is getting there. But yeah, like I was saying, so we can rotate these guys. They kind of maybe tuck in there. Maybe there's another segmentation there, but it's like extra little helpers. I wanted to have too many, like a real one, but just a little bit more. Yeah, you should, man. Like this guy, I think a couple months ago I did probably like 2 months ago I did the head on the stream. I was just playing around, having fun. Now I'm like, let's make a full character out of this guy. He's pretty cool. Why not? See, so now that joint became a little large, now we can go ahead and kind of elongate this one as well. Right, because they still have to keep that relationship of being able to be kind of the way the other ones were. Since these guys are a little more bendy, I'm more forgiving with the forms, kind of not making them perfect cylinders, that type of deal, Let's see. Yeah, I haven't used them much. I need to start using that deformation stuff. Seems really cool. I think in the next stream, I just started using. I'm kind of late to the game. I started learning ZModeler a little bit, because most of the time I use Maya for most of this stuff, so I don't need to do it. But I kind of want to go back and forth between here and Maya, so I'm starting to migrate to that as well. Same thing with the cloth stuff. Slowly. It just takes time. A lot of it for me is like when I actually need to use it. Sometimes I don't need to use any of that stuff. So see, so this one got a little all wobbly, so we're going to kind of fix that. First, we need to kind of. I've been watching a lot of woodworking recently, so a lot of it I'm thinking about it kind of like replanering a surface, and then you have to go back and sculpt it, you know. Sometimes it's easier than trying to fix a surface that's lumpy already, you know. Like this one underneath, you don't see it because it was meant to be that way, but then this one over here needed some help, you know. All right, so I'm kind of digging that. Let's save it. Yeah, most of the stuff that I aim to do is movie quality, like, you know. Oh, that's awesome! It just crashed right in the middle of saving that. That was great. So that's kind of what I try to aim for, you know. But sometimes it's cartoony, sometimes it's not so photoreal. Oh, that was awesome! It didn't save either, so that's cool. I don't think this is really anything. Yep. So also you save often. Hopefully we didn't lose all those arms. That would suck, but if we did, we did. Just let me go back to my directory and open up the whatever we saved from the last 20 minutes. It happens. That's why we have to save often. 10:22 says it's saved. Do it, man. Do the characters, you know. Let's see. Oh, we didn't lose it. That's great. That's awesome. So this is my original head that I started with. Let me get rid of that because it always goes to that origin. And we have modified it so many times that it's no longer, doesn't even look like that. Okay, so we're working on these arms and his pelvis. So let's start working on that. Yeah, something happened also with my settings in 2021.5 where the move tool, my regular move tool that was here, became the move elastic, so I'm just kind of, I always swap it. I need to update that. Yeah, it sucks when it crashes, right? Especially when you're in the middle of jamming out. So I think it's coming together pretty well. We have some nice work that's happening here. So I think we're going to start working on the lower part of the body. Just to kind of get him up to date. Let's see. Sorry. Yeah, the cloth stuff is pretty cool. I messed around with it a little bit, and the thick skin stuff, it's pretty nice. It helps a lot to, you know, give your characters a little more realism. It really depends, man. What do you want to do? Like, how long does it take to learn this? I feel like I still don't know ZBrush. I'm still learning it every day. I'll find new things all the time that I'm like, oh, that's cool. Different way to do this, do that. So you're never going to be fully know everything 100%, but you know, you just got to keep at it. I don't think there's any answer. I think we need to work on this claw. One thing that I noticed last night is that he needs to become a little wider, become more of a kind of a shield, you know, a giant, kind of like a, you know, just crabs have these giant, or lobsters, I guess. Lobsters have these giant pinchers that are crazy, so this is the kind of stuff that I kind of want to start mimicking next on this. So we'll probably work on the arm, maybe break that into 2 pieces. Let's see. So that's kind of the reference I'm looking at right now for the arm. Kind of just getting some ideas. About Blender, I'm trying to learn Blender. I haven't really used it too much. I just started kind of diving into it, so I need to find a good program, a good like a tutorial to follow. So I'm a big Maya user from many years, so jumping to Blender seems very alien to me, but it just takes time, you know. You got to put in that time to learn some new software. I just haven't spent too much time trying to actually learn it. So we'll have to make this one a little wider too. See, but we need to find the right pivot point to make that a little thicker. There we go, that's much better. So same thing with this, we're just gonna restructure it a little bit more. Sometimes when you see those little lumps, you know, I tend to hit it with clay and kind of balance those out, kind of like you would in real clay. You know, take it down or push it up, or a little bit of both and smooth it. Sorry guys, I just kind of text. So we have to figure out how this guy fits in here, right? Because I noticed like the crabs tend to have a, like the outer, like this is part of the same shell, you know? So this is all one giant claw and the claw is embedded, kind of like your thumb is. Yeah, speed scopes helped. I tend to do them a lot and then I tend not to do anything with them. So I'm trying to be more productive now and try to do more with speed scopes. Just sometimes, you know, they're just, that's what they are. They're just for fun and they go nowhere. So let's do that a little better. I see, so maybe we need to make our other edge, our other model a little thicker still. Just have it kind of fit into that slot. See what that does. Makes it feel more natural. Yeah, see, it already feels better. Now we just have to add a little bit more on top of this guy. Oh, thanks, man. I tried it. Well, I'm left-handed too, so that's something to consider. If you guys are downloading my UI, you might want to flip everything over if you're right-handed. I'm just left-handed, so that's why everything's on the left side. Not a big deal. So it's just a matter of, you know, moving the stuff over. If you guys, I could do a tutorial on that too if you guys want. I just figure most people either know it already. So here I'm just kind of manhandling this stuff, you know, just kind of roughing up a whole bunch of clay on here to give it a, then remesh it so that it's nice and clean. Or remesh a little lower, for some reason it's still high. Right, just give it a little bit of a peak here. Smooth some of this stuff out. So then when they're from there, we're going to clean that up. At this point, we could probably hide the rest of the body and keep the arm. Yeah, just keep that part. Maybe we could tweak this. See, so that helps us kind of see what's going on with this. Smooth some of that stuff out. Tweak some of the wonkiness that's happening here. You know, and then tweak So it's kind of give and play with between these two, I guess, fingers or the claw and stuff, right? Okay, man. See you next time. Thanks for joining. So how much time we have? About 30 minutes or so. So we'll continue working on this stuff. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Let's see. So one thing we want to do is make sure that the inside edge gets rid of this little kink, then whatever this is. Maybe some clay needs to be added there. Smooth that out. The inside edge should be sharp, right? It should have some kind of sharp cutter tool, but maybe not as tight. Maybe a little wider. So we press 1. Just redo your moves. This is kind of breaking my stuff, so let's do it a little different, another way. So we're gonna mask it. We're gonna reverse the mask. Then we can do it again a few times. Smooth it out just so we see that there's a ridge there. And then maybe kind of make the cutting blade part a little sticking out. So that it tapers towards the bottom where it just kind of pinches. Oh, it's if you go to my Gumroad, let me send you a link to that just so you can download it. There you go, you can get it there. Also, if you guys want to support me, buy me a coffee. I'm in an account with that. How's the 3D print model actually sitting down? No, it's all about the same. They all have challenges, right? They all have challenges. Sitting down is probably easier, especially if there's some kind of throne or some kind of thing like that. That would help a lot. Change this song, sorry. So it really depends on what you're trying to do, but I think overall everything has its their challenges. But sitting down is probably much easier than standing up, because then you have to find the real balance of the figure. You know, if he's moving forward, he has a giant claw, that means there has to be something in the back that helps him kind of not tilt forward, you know, or his leg position needs to be a specific way so he doesn't fall when you place him somewhere. Some of the stuff you can cheat by putting really large pegs, you know, but some stuff you can't. So I'm thinking that claw's looking alright. We're gonna play around with this one, not make it so thin, but we're gonna not make it too thick either, because we don't want it to compete too much with the other arm. But we also got to watch out when we're adjusting this stuff that we're not breaking the tangency of all this. So we can move to our move topological and only adjust. Doesn't like that. Look at that. There we go. So I want to keep that straight. I want to just adjust a little bit more of the overall volume. And of course, things in nature are not perfect, so it's fine to, they're not a perfect line. But there does have to be some kind of rhythm to this, so, you know. So this is more like his stabbing arm, so it should be more like spearhead shape, you know. So maybe this actual volume becomes a little bigger here, because it needs to be like a stronger knife than this little the little nub, like kind of like I forget what it's called. Dogs have it, where you have an extra little nub. So maybe this could blend to that, and this could become one surface, and then maybe that's a better choice. So right now what I just did, I'm just inflating And then when I Dynamesh it, should become one. We can just make this all into one piece again. So sometimes you try a few things, like I was saying earlier, and it doesn't work out. And you try a few more. And since we're designing on the fly, it's really nice that we can actually just do that now. So that feels a little more balanced, I think. Yeah, happy ZBrushing. So I think that's working a lot nicer. And then this could still have our pattern. What do I mean by our pattern? So let's fix this first, this little wonky stuff. So we could have our three pattern from earlier. Same deal, right? Just inflate it a little bit, and then move a little bit down. Make sure it's going the right trajectory as well. Right. So there we go. So that's a little bit of a better structure. Yeah, but one thing I was thinking that maybe it needs to be cut out, so there's like it has like it can actually flex. As right now it's just a giant stiff thing. That maybe if it had another cut, could potentially be nice. Maybe we could play around with that. So let's see what we can do about that. So like if it had a segment there, I might have to do this from a different angle. So I kind of like what it's doing, but from this angle, it looks kind of weird. So maybe I guess that kind of works out. Just a little different than what I thought it was going to be, but let's play around with that. So now we have that group, and we can also just mask this art too so we don't mess with it. But now there's two polygroups in case I wanted to come back to it and do anything else different. Wait, it didn't actually make the polygroup. My bad. Let's undo that real quick. There we go. I guess it did it, but the color was very similar, so it looked like it did nothing. Not a biggie. So now that's all masked. See, we gotta be careful with this. Because it's not just a straight mask. You have to unmask that part. So I'm planning to make that either a little bigger or a little smaller. There we go. If you think about it, kind of like a gauntlet. me go add some of that roundness that we were talking about earlier. I have to figure out how that goes into that, but that's not a big deal. Let's see. Vestal, yeah, Vestal limbs, yeah, right. Yeah, well, for textures, if you're gonna do textures, you could, you know, definitely do textures here. I tend to use Mari or Substance Painter for a lot of my work. So that's kind of my workflow, but it all really depends on what you learn. You know, maybe try to learn Substance Painter, or try to learn just how to paint here and export to Photoshop. You know, because then you'll be able to clean up seams and all that type of stuff here. What would I name this character? I don't know actually. He was I was gonna just call. He was just called like my name. The name of my folder is just called like Short Crab. Like he was gonna be a little short crab, but he ended up being something else. So he's gonna have to change his name. Not sure really what his name is going to be. So if you guys have some suggestions, feel free to send them my way. So I think that helped. It looks powerful now. It looks like it has some flexibility. You know, I think that's kind of working. Senks, yeah, that could work. That's a different name. And this could have the same pattern, right? So we're gonna add an edge. And we have to. More of that repeating pattern. See, it just kind of breaks that edge so it doesn't look just like an egg. Not that there's anything wrong with an egg, but just that's not what we want for this guy here. So we have to do something about the inside of his claw as well, right? So I think we're going to keep that edge going and round that off inside. We just have to flatten out this other opposite side so it's continuous. Also maybe just balance some of this stuff out because it's a little... Remember, not perfect, just makes more, it needs to make more sense. So what I could do is mask this guy, dynamesh it again, so that we have a different, nice distribution. And now we can invert that, get rid of that, you know, just that lump so it's more even. Could invert the other part and then change our brush a little bit and flatten out that part a little bit more. Now we either make that thing stick out since we have it already masked, or stick it in. I think stick it in might work a little better. So it has a little bit of an inset. We'll see what that looks like. Might look cool, might look not so cool. No, it doesn't work. So I think it has to be the opposite. It needs to balloon out a little bit. We do that around the edges too. Yeah, that works much better. What do you guys think? And of course, our good friend, maybe he has a double blade. We could do the blade, but we gotta turn it way down. Yeah, that's probably okay. Let's check out our wheel inside of a. Sorry, I can't convert that. So some of these, like lobsters, right? Lobsters tend to have like an inside edge that has kind of teeth and that type of stuff. So maybe we'll do that on that edge. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So you could have maybe a row of multiple sharper teeth, since it is the opposite of the other one that's kind of cracking everything. Then we'll sharpen them up. So I think that could potentially work. Hey, how's it going, third party? So I guess it mimics more of a serrated knife, or I think I'm gonna make those go the opposite way. We'll keep the roundness though. So we'll just have them go in the opposite direction. I had them going downwards, but they should be going the other way. So if he scrapes, you can scrape your skull off or something. I don't know. Something crazy. So they're like little hooks that are kind of coming for you, you know? Maybe more of that. Maybe there could be some more on the edge. We'll see. Let's clean up that edge. I'm also gonna do that to this guy. See, we have about 10 minutes, so if you guys have any last minute questions, feel free to ask. So this could probably have a similar feeling to it, but maybe not as, maybe smaller little teeth. Sorry, what was that question? Thank you, Sina. I usually UV map in here if I need to do something quick and take it to Substance Painter or do some quick UVs, just the auto UVs. Maybe select the part where you wanted to have the scene, but I just let it go and do whatever. Because it's just that easy, you know? Unless I want something very specific, then once I retopologize, I'll take it into Maya, and then from there, retopologize the whole thing. I think probably Wednesday. I think this Wednesday I'll probably be streaming. So yeah, tune in. So that gives it a nice blade. I think we're gonna make this one just a little longer. So that it fits nicely into the arm. Then we'll have to give that guy 3 little spikes as well. See, his ridge could be a little thicker, so maybe we'll do that now. So for this guy, we're probably gonna do something so that it makes it feel like the structure is actually stronger, because he's gonna have to use it as a shield. Right, so we're adding that big ridge, and then we're gonna add the finer one. Probably quality, man. You have to improve both, right? If you mean quickness and quality, both come hand in hand. You have to be able to do both. But when I say if you're starting out, probably your quality is your best bet. See, so now that we have this for here lends itself to like a little bit of a structure change. Give it a little bit of secondary form there, so you kind of break that up. Same thing back here. Nothing too crazy, and then we can either add a little more design. Maybe not something that crazy, but you know, let's tone that down. It's not working. Really? It should work, right? Whether it's really dense geometry or really not so dense. You know, let me just save this real quick. Let's see. So we have still saving. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have this piece, right? And it's a little dense. Not a big deal, right? Most of the time you could clone it. I run on the, it's not symmetrical, so I wonder if I wanted to unwrap it. It's doing its thing, right? It could be you need to Z-remesh it as well. Sometimes Z-remeshing it helps a lot. Like in this case, maybe it's too dense. It's probably 270K just for this arm. So we could definitely make it a lot less, probably like 10K or something. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. Sometimes that happens, right? If you don't do it with ZBrush, that's why I'm showing this way. Because if I show you that how long it takes to do it with a Dynamesh mesh, it takes a lot longer. You know. Oh, thank you. No, I appreciate you tuning in too, Stancy. See, sometimes it takes forever, but it still gets through it. It still chops through all those polygons pretty well. And then we'll do another one where we duplicate it and do a Z-remesh and do it on that. Yeah, but feel free to follow me in all the social media platforms that you guys do. Let me post some links for you guys to join late. My website, ArtStation, and so on and so on. No hablas inglés, oh, sí, yo hablo español también. Si tienes preguntas en español. My Gumroad. And I'll also my YouTube. Yeah, see, it's taking a little bit. It sounds, you know, we'll give it a second. It should be fine. We still got a couple more minutes. Yeah, let's see. Yes, don't forget to save. You're right. Don't forget to save often, guys. Yeah, I saved right before this, so if it crashes, we're good. But sometimes crashing is godsend when you're not in a crazy deadline, because sometimes you remember, like, you try something and didn't look so well, you wasted that time, you just keep moving. Thank you, appreciate it. Appreciate the support, guys. There we go. So it's done, right? So now we can morph UVs, some decent UVs, you know. There you go, nice and flat, and with a dense mesh. So some people say don't do it this way. I tend to, you know, sometimes disagree. Depends on what are you trying to do, right? So now we get something similar. So you remesh it. The topology was really ugly. Sí, está muy fácil usar el programa. Lo que tienes que hacer es usarlo casi todos los días, o 20 minutos, media hora, para que te aprendas las herramientas. So here we go. We have this guy, right? No UVs. UVs are broken. Similar shape. Unwrap it. And the other one took maybe 2-3 minutes. This one took about no time. So it all depends. You know, you can run through those processes or you don't. It's up to you. But here you will have to project that detail, right? Because now it's low. There's no definition compared to what we had. You know? See, it's the same shape, but there's no sharpness, so you have to add all that stuff back. But yeah, this is kind of what we're done, guys, for today. We'll continue on this guy maybe next time, or I'll just finish them during the, you know, in between, or maybe my next stream, my personal stream. So yeah, this is where we left off. So thanks for joining, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time, or on my own stream. Maybe we'll do some substance painter on this guy to kind of see how he turns out. Yeah, good night. Thanks for joining. Let's see. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. Well, you're welcome. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to send me something through Instagram or email or something. If you guys have any questions about workflow, or I also do a mentorship. So if you guys are interested in any of that, the mentorship is more for kind of production work, like how to get trained for that and how to get your portfolio up to date. But this is stuff is more for concept and 3D printing. But yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys coming out and checking this stuff out. I guess with that, I'll see you guys next time. Oh yeah, you guys want the Instagram link? Let's see if I have it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I could definitely do that. We could talk about U-dims and single dims as well, and how to split that stuff up and why it's split up in certain ways, you know. But awesome, yeah. I'll think about what to stream for next time for you guys. Well, thanks, guys. I'll see you guys next time. See ya. Bye.